welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Horror Master YouTube channel, and welcome back to day 7 of my 31 Days of Horror series, where I rank a horror movie franchise a day, from the worst of the worst films to the best of the best. And in this episode, on episode 7, which I can't believe we've been doing this for 7 episodes, which thank you all for actually watching the videos, for commenting the videos, for actually giving me suggestions. I've really been having a lot of fun doing this video. So for episode 7, we are going to be tackling the Evil Dead franchise. Yes, one of those franchises that has been gone tremendously in horror for its low budget, weirdness, and just all out crazy galore. Of course, giving Bruce Campbell his rise to stardom, eventually started in the Spider-Man films and all that. Of course, giving Sam Raimi his footing ground on how to become a director, later directed Spider-Man films and a movie like Drag Me to Hell. I mean, Drag Me to Hell is not the greatest horror film of all time, but it helped both of them careers to elevate to more successful films. So the reason Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which if you have not seen that movie, you're gonna see a lot of Evil Dead references and moments from that. But this franchise is one of those franchises that lately has been not the has been a bit still for a couple of years, even though it has had its successful TV show, which it's a really good TV show. Unfortunately, I'm not gonna have it in this ranking mode because I'm only focusing on the films. Of course, so many video games. I remember me and my cousin going to his house and playing the Evil Dead game. With, of course, having Sam in there, which was an amazing game. One of my favorite video games from my childhood. To the most recent that we're gonna have a continuation of a 2013 remake, a sequel, kind of connected to the universe, which it's gonna be called Evil Dead Rise, which should be released by next year, 2023. Which I'm really am excited for see that film. So hopefully that film stands up to the seal of approval when it comes to the Evil Dead franchises. But Evil Dead is one of those franchises that's been loved by so many fans. I mean, come on, it's Evil Dead. I mean, the the, the catchphrases, the kills, everything about it is just amazing. So in this rank 'em all, we're having 4 films. So again, a bit of a shorter rank 'em all. Like I said, lately we've been doing short rank 'em alls and all that. I know eventually when we tackle the Friday the 13 franchise, that's going to be a huge undertaking, or even the Hellraiser franchise, or even the Halloween franchise. But that's in the future. That's later down in the months. But enough jibber jabber. Let's get into ranking all the Evil Dead films. So starting at number 4, at the bottom of the barrel, we have Army of Darkness. This is a continuation from the Evil Dead 2. This is the release in 1992, and like I said, like I've said in so many of these rank 'em alls and all these episodes, some of the films they're not bad. They're actually amazing films, but sometimes you have to make some tough decisions and put them at the bottom. And in this case, Army of Darkness is at the very bottom, not because it's a bad film. It's quite an amazing film. Of course, it kind of goes more into the lore of the book and how, of course, the evil spirit and how everything comes up to, I mean, to the point that Ash goes back in time to medieval times of how the story and the lore and the backstory of everything happened. Of course, to me, the movie poster, which I'm already putting right now, has always been one of those movie posters that's has always been an iconic poster in my opinion. I mean, next to probably the Halloween from the first Halloween film, that poster has been so iconic in so many minds that it's been becoming one of my favorite movie posters in terms of the horror movie genre. Maybe there though, depends. The kills are great, the acting is great, especially I love the fact when they actually gave Ash a metal arm. Like that's kind of fucking metal as hell. And of course when he's fighting he's himself, I think if I remember correctly, there's a double gang or the I don't remember, like it's been a while to see these films. And it's a really fun film. It has a lot of crazy shit. And I like the fact that in a I don't remember if this is a bonus in a DVD, if I remember correctly, that when Ash is trying to go back to our time in terms of in time of the film, he goes a bit over time to the future when all the cars are not, so he kind of sleeps over time. And I think that's a kind of a bonus stuff because I remember watching the film years ago, and then didn't know that there was an alternative ending to the film, which it was that bonus footage of him going past his time to the future, and it's just like kind of like not again. But it's the Armored Darkness, an amazing film. At number 3, we have Evil Dead 2. This is a so the Evil Dead franchise is this movie is kind of a soft reboot of the original film in a way because some of the how the movie starts kind of takes the elements from the original film from the kind of the almost the ending of the first one, but it kind of elaborates more, of course, when the spirit attacks Ash and kind of gets inside of Ash. We don't see that in the first one. We kind of saw it almost at the end of the film, and let our imagination kind of go wild. In this case, it's where the spirit kind of attacks Ash, and of course, this is where he goes completely insane in the cabin. Of course, things moving around, the fucking antlers are moving, stuff is laughing. Of course, to the point that I've been having on my fucking intro a part of the Evil Dead 2. So that kind of makes a part of it. I love the fact that just that Bruce Campbell's over the top. I mean, when he cuts off his arm and puts on the chainsaw, and then it has the gun, the thing, and of course his catchphrase, Groovy. One of the best catchphrases of all time. Another fun film. Again, those even though the Evil Dead films are a bit of low budget at the time, they worked. To this day, I wish that films in the horror movie genre could learn from the Evil Dead franchise to see what worked and what didn't work. Even though I guess our technology is more advanced with CGI and all that, but sometimes practical effects still work. I mean, even though, yeah, it had a bit of CGI at the time, even CGI in that era wasn't the greatest CGI, it's kind of still worked in a bit. But sometimes I wish that some filmmakers could actually go back and watch those Evil Dead films and kind of see what worked and what didn't work. At number two, we have the Evil Dead 2013 remake. I remember watching this film when it started going on DVD or on CD. I remember where I watched it. The first thing that I first thought about this film was why make a remake? For a long time, I was one of those people that when a successful franchise was announced that they were gonna make a remake, I would immediately be like, "Oh, it's gonna be like hell. It's not gonna work. They're gonna ruin the lore. All the crap that you would think of a remake." Sometimes that is the case with remakes that they just make the franchise lose their value. In other cases, the remakes make the franchise even more talked about, make it more noticeable for younger fans who didn't have the chance or never saw the original Evil Dead trilogy. With the Evil Dead remake, 2013 remake, it helped a lot of fans and it helped bring a lot of new fans into this franchise because the one thing I want to say about this remake, bloody, 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 bloody. I mean, even though in the Evil Dead franchise, the original trilogy, there was a lot of blood, this movie had so much blood. I mean, to the point that it almost a bit of excessive too much. It had too much blood. Even though I'm always a fan of having blood on horror films, but with this movie, again, they had so much blood that it's a gory film. I mean, to the point where I think the sister gets possessed. She's in the cabinet. Again, if you look at my intro, that's why I have it in one of my intros. We're gonna get you. Now we're gonna kill you. I mean, the makeup effect was great, even though again they kind of focus on all CGI, but not too much CGI that it make the movie great. It felt the atmosphere of the Evil Dead remake. It felt like it was the original image, but when they bring in a new light to it. And I cannot wait for the 2023 continuation, which it should be a continuation of this film, and also bring in Ash, which supposedly it's also in the Evil Dead you know universe, because originally we always thought this was a complete soft reboot, but in reality it's kind of, but not really. It depends on how the director, I think, even I don't know if it's Sam Raimi's, and I'm pretty sure Sam Raimi has some creative control over this, or a suggestion maybe as a producer. It all depends on what that. But if you have not seen the remake of Evil Dead, go give it a watch. It's probably one of my top five horror remakes of all time, next to probably the Texas Chainsaw Massacre from 2004 version, or even the It films. Even though the It films are not really remakes, they're kind of their own films because the first one's actually a TV series. It's a whole different story, but I suggest you all to go watch the 2013 version. But at number one, of course, it's the Evil Dead, the original 1981 film. This movie has a very interesting backstory because this film at the time it was considered a B movie because it was made less for like maybe $30,000, $100,000. So the budget was so low at the time. I mean, this was in the 80s when at the time horror was beginning to be a big boom of horror films. So when this little B side project film with this unknown director named Sam Raimi and this unknown actor of Bruce Campbell created this film and has become probably top five, top 10 best horror films of all time. I mean, the effects were great, the atmosphere was great, the casting was perfect, the the way the camera didn't really show us who the evil spirit was. It just panned the camera into the cabin, and the makeup was, which at the time was really an amazing makeup effect, because again the zombies and the blood and all that, the join us, that's probably one of my favorite most haunting ah most haunting reactions to a film. It's one of those films that I watch every year around Halloween time because it's a classic, like I said, a film that was created for less than $100,000. I could be wrong, maybe 300, maybe 30 grand. I don't remember the number. A movie that wasn't supposed to make it this big and turned out to be a monster, and a monster of film that created a franchise. Not only that, but this also was inspiration for the band Death to create the song Evil Dead of their album Scream Bloody Gore, which is probably my favorite Death song of all time. I mean, my God, everything about it is amazing. So that's why, for those reasons, the Evil Dead, the original 1981 film, is at number one, at numero uno. And that does it for this video, guys. Hope you guys really enjoy this video. Like I said, I've been having so much fun having to do this whole rank them all. It makes me go back and rewatch some films I haven't seen in years. And like I said, I've been having a lot of fun doing these videos. So don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the Yasha Shebang. Don't forget to follow me on my Instagram. Don't forget to follow me on my Twitter. And stay tuned for tomorrow's video where I'm going to be ranking the Final Destination franchise. Another weird franchise that at the beginning really didn't get them all hype, but as the years have gone by, has begun to be more appreciated because of how everybody dies and all that. That everything you do leads straight into the grave. So stay tuned for tomorrow's video. Hope you guys are enjoying this rank almost. Like I said, we have a lot of fun doing these. Eventually I'm gonna bring you guys maybe another CD collection in the future, depending on how the videos I'm recording go up. So stay tuned for that. Stay safe, everybody, and until next time, stay metal.